Let's review two-point perspective. When you are drawing a box in two-point perspective, you are viewing it from an angle. So you start with that middle line, which is the corner of your box. Then you will see your diagonal lines meet at the right and the left vanishing point, and the same thing at the top. Now, for two-point perspective, any of your sides, the lines on the sides from the left to the right, will be completely vertical and they will go straight up and down. For three-point perspective, we of course add a third vanishing point. This example, the vanishing point is below the horizon line, which means the box will be from a bird's eye view. So our red lines are going to stay the same, but the left and right side of our cube are going to be different. Those are going to meet with the bottom vanishing point. So if I take this corner point and draw it down to that vanishing point, and the same thing on the other side, you'll see the box looks like it's getting narrower as it goes towards the bottom. So let me just fix these lines. So now you can see the difference between two-point perspective and three-point perspective. It's really just these lines on the left side, the right side, and the middle are meeting either at the bottom vanishing point, or if you're doing a worm's eye view, they would be going up to the top vanishing point. So let's talk about how to develop a cityscape in three-point perspective. I'm going to start my cityscape by drawing a horizon line towards the top of my paper because I'm doing a bird's eye view. If you're doing a worm's eye view, you might want to flip it around. So my left and right vanishing point, I'd like you to put them as far to the left and right side of your page as you can. The third vanishing point you're going to put down towards the bottom. And truly, it doesn't have to be in the middle of the paper, but it's up to you where you want to put it. So we are going to start by making one building, which is kind of going to be on the corner of the street. So I'm going to start at my left vanishing point. I'm going to begin by drawing out these diagonal lines, which are called orthogonals. And this is going to determine the top of my roof. Now these two lines are not meeting up at anything. So basically, if you put them farther apart, you're going to have a wider roof. So the only big thing is they need to start at the vanishing point and then go out towards the bottom right. Same thing with the right vanishing point. I'm going to cross this right here, and what I'm doing now is finishing the top of my building. Now I've erased the extra part of my lines going to the vanishing points just so you can see the top of the building a little bit better. Now we're going to add the three lines to do the sides of the buildings. So this first middle line is the corner of my building, and that is going straight down to the vanishing point. My next line from the right corner is also going to down to the to the bottom vanishing point. And same thing with the left corner, down to the vanishing point. Now you can see a building being started here, but you need to finish off the bottom of the building, so don't forget that. The height of your building is up to you. So I can decide wherever I want to put that. I'm going to make a little dot. Maybe I'm going to make it about this tall. Okay. Then I'm going to take and make another diagonal line, and now this is just like two-point perspective. From this dot, it is going to go to the right vanishing point. Ooh. Let me just fill that in quick. same point is going to go to the left vanishing point. So now my building is outlined pretty boldly. The hard part is, where do I start drawing my next buildings? I like to draw in where the road might be, and that'll give me a good idea for a starting point. So I just drew lines back to the right and left vanishing point. This would just probably represent the street or a sidewalk in front of the building. As things get closer to that bottom vanishing point, they're going to have more of an extreme angle and they're going to get closer together. So just kind of keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see it a little better. I'm going to start my next building, and you can do it a couple different ways. I'm going to start and pretend my building is directly butted up right next to this one. So I'm going to look at this right orthogonal that meets at the bottom vanishing point. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just start at the bottom vanishing point. And I don't want my buildings to be boring. I'm going to make this one a little bit taller. So I'm going to draw a line coming up right from the side of that building. Then I am going to start at the bottom vanishing point again and do another line. So this is just determining how wide I want that second building to be. These are not meeting up with anything at the top. It's your choice how wide you want to make it. We're just starting at that third vanishing point. I also need to do the side of the building. Again, here's my third wall. I'm going to bring up my line. And basically, I'm going to have it end at the back of this building. So just like before, we're going to determine how tall we want the building. So I'm going to do a little circle here, so I know where everything should match up. Now I'm going to meet at the right and left vanishing points. So from that middle corner of the second building, I'll go to the right vanishing point. Whoops. Sorry, let me fill that in so you can see it. Same thing. Left side of the building, left vanishing point. And I'm just going to make these lines a little bit smaller so it makes sense. This is where the top of the building would be. And now I just need to finish off the roof. So I'm going to take my line, start at this point right here. This is going to the right vanishing point. And this point right here where these lines cross are going to the left vanishing point. So now you can see my first two buildings. Now let's draw a third one. We're going to put it on the left side now. And I'm going to pretend, hey, you know what, I don't want it right next to this building. I'm going to leave some space. So I am going to, again, start at the bottom vanishing point. I find that's going to be the easiest when we start our next buildings. This first line is going to be the corner of my building. If you can see that. I'm going to start at the bottom again. And this is going to be the right wall of my building. From here to here. Again, these top points aren't meeting at anything. They're just determining how wide my building is going to be. And then my third line here, starting at the bottom again. Not meeting up at anything, just trying to tell from this left side wall how wide I want it to be. So there are my three walls. So I erased the overlapping line so you could see it a little bit better. So I have my right side of the building and the left side of the building. Now I need to draw the top of the roof and where the bottom part would end. So I'm going to start at these points again. So this is where the street is, and this is the corner. That middle line is going to be the corner of my building. So from here, this line goes to the right vanishing point. this line goes to the left vanishing point. Now, because I had already drew the street in, you're not going to see any difference there. Now, for the top of the building, I'm going to determine how tall I want it to be. Maybe I'll put it about here. So I'm just going to draw a circle again. It's going to be nice and big so you can see it. And we'll take my line and the top of the building, same thing. I'm going to go to the right vanishing point. The left vanishing point. Now, there's so many lines here, I know it can get a bit confusing. I'm just going to make these a little smaller so you can see. So now I'm going to take these points where they cross. So this first one, we're going to draw the top of the building. This first one is going to go to the right vanishing point. And this one to the left vanishing point. So you can definitely add more than 3 buildings in your composition, but one thing you do need to have are windows and doors on all the buildings. So you're going to follow those same rules that we did before. Any lines from the left and right side are going to meet at the bottom vanishing point. So if I were to draw a very large window, make it a little thicker here, I'm going to determine where it's going to start on the left side, on the right side, and then the top and the bottom are going to meet with the right vanishing point because I am on the right side of the building. So it's very important that you're always using your ruler when you do this. So here is our one big window. You can definitely do smaller windows. You could do a grid of windows going along the whole side of the building. You just have to make sure they're going to the correct vanishing points. Don't be afraid to experiment with the shapes of your buildings. They don't have to be a boring box. You can stack boxes on top of each other. You could create a dome. You could make something recede into your building. There's lots of different options. So have fun with it, and we'll see you next time in class.